Good morning. I want to talk to you about guilt. We have talked about this before, but I really want to talk about it again because we're getting closer to the holidays. And I've been talking to moms and dads that are feeling guilty about Thanksgiving and Christmas, and their kids have left to go to boot camp and will be in boot camp all the way through the holidays, or stationed somewhere else and can't come home, and the guilt that they feel inside. And I want to go over that because I felt that way. And we as parents and family members do not need to feel guilty about this. We don't. Because they are off living their best life. They are where they want to be, doing exactly what they want to be doing, transforming themselves into the Marine or soldier or airman or sailor that they want to be. And we as parents have to understand that life keeps on going while our sons and daughters are off living their dream and crushing their goals and doing exactly what they want to be doing. We do not need to be sitting in our houses upset and feeling guilty because we are cooking Thanksgiving dinner, putting up our Christmas tree, putting up our menorahs. We don't have to feel guilty about those things. We don't, life keeps going on. And I'm going to tell you this, our sons and daughters wouldn't want us to feel guilty because they're doing what they want to be doing. It dawned on me when I was cooking Thanksgiving dinner. My son was at boot camp, and I was feeling really guilty. Like I had a lump in my throat, a pit in my stomach guilt. And I was he doesn't like applesauce out of a jar, pouches or whatever. He likes the homemade kind like my grandmother used to make, with lots of cinnamon and lots of nutmeg and chunky and, warm off the stove and then cold in the refrigerator. And an apple pie, he just loves that stuff. He asks for it all the time. He asks for it when he comes home, and I make it for him all the time. And I was making Thanksgiving dinner, and I was making all that stuff, and I felt guilty. Like, why am I making these things? He's not here. My other children enjoy them. I have to make them, but I felt guilty. And it dawned on me when I got a letter from him saying that while he was marching, he saw Christmas lights. And that was the other thing I felt guilty about. He loves being the one, since he was old enough to get up on the roof and put the Christmas lights on. He loves doing that, right? And that year, his dad had to get up and do it. I felt guilty going to the Christmas tree lot and picking out a Christmas tree and bringing it home and decorating it. I felt a real guilt about it. And when it dawned on me that I do not need to feel guilt, is he sent a letter to me, and he was like, Mom, when I'm marching and in formation and we're going through these areas and I see some Christmas lights, he goes, I just know that I'll be home for Christmas and I'm so excited. And that was the moment that I realized I do not need to feel guilty for living my life while my son is off living his life. And I know we all feel it. And I don't care what stage of this game you're in. If you're in boot camp, if your kid is, active duty already, deployed somewhere, we all feel that pain of guilt because our kids aren't home with us doing the holidays, doing the things that they like, going to the beach, going to the parks, living the life that they've always led. And we do not have to have that guilt inside of us. We don't, because they are off forging their own new reality. They are crushing their dreams. They are crushing their goals. How lucky would we be at 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 years old and crushing our dreams already, right? Some of us work a whole lifetime to do that, and some of us never even see that reality. And our kids are out there doing that. And that's when I realized, Lori, you do not need to feel guilty for living your life. You don't have to feel guilty for going to the beach with your daughters or going by yourself. You don't have to feel guilty about going to the parks with the girls. You don't have to feel guilty about going for a bike ride without Philip, because he's off doing what he wants to be doing and living his life. And that was a huge game changer for me. It really was, to know that I do not have to feel guilty. Do I still feel guilt? Absolutely. We're human. I don't care what we're doing. There's times where I'm doing something and I'm like, God dang it, man. My son would love to be doing this. Why am I doing it without him? And then I realize when he sends me a text message and he just got played the best golf game of his life on a Saturday afternoon on base, that he was living his dream too. I don't have to stop living my life because my son is living his dreams and living his reality. we raise our kids, and this is the hard part for us to understand sometimes, because it was for me. We raise our kids to be able to go off and not need us every second of the day. And I just want you as moms and dads and my friends to know that you do not have to have that guilt in your heart, in your soul, in your mind, because our kids, they're doing great. We raised strong children. They're military people, for crying out loud. We raised some badass kids. We really did. So please, moms, dads, family members, do not feel guilt, because it's not your burden. It's not. You don't have to feel guilty. You don't. And there's so many ways to include them in the holidays. I'll do another video about that, but there's so many ways to include our kids in the holidays, even if they're not home, even if they're at boot camp, even if they're deployed. There's so many ways for us to do that. And I want to just put this here too. The holidays do not have to be on Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day. The holidays are when our families are together. So even if it's in January, or if it's in November we celebrate Christmas, or October we celebrate Christmas, it doesn't matter. The holidays are about family time and when we're together. So don't feel guilty.